Let's go, Meat Boys. It's the Meatlock. You see the text, and back on a nice recent streak. It was really good meat that we were able to hit those last two when we were approaching our Meatlock century mark, and we ended up going 68%, right? 68 and 32 for the first 100, and plans to keep it above 70% for sure for the next Hundo Doinks. But we think the best way to start this off is with another Tyson Pedro Meatlock against Modestas Bukauskas, who is 13 and 5 overall, 1 and 3 in the UFC. He does come in though on a 2-fight win streak where he got back his belt in Cage Warriors. Because if you remember, this guy was the light heavyweight champ in Cage Warriors. Then he joins the UFC. Has very underwhelming performances. Leaves the UFC, goes back to Cage Warrior, gets his belts back, and now he's coming back as a prelim headlining layup slab of meat for Tyson Pedro. And Tyson Pedro, I mean, this is a guy who was initially supposed to be fighting Zhang Min Yang and had a lot of hype initially. 5 and 3 in the UFC, started 2-0 with those two amazing finishes against Khalil Roundtree and Paul Craig, and then he got smoked by Ilir Latifi, kind of derailed everything, and that's when he was off for 4 years, right? 2022 though, he finally comes back, and we've been meatlocking him ever since. I mean, he's got insane power, demonstrated with that recent finish over Harry Hunsuk and over Hurricane Ike. But granted, that was against Hunsuk and Ike, but the way he pressured them, like backed them up against the cage and really just dominated those contests start to finish, gives you a lot of confidence for Tyson Pedro. And not only the power, right? This guy can also grapple too. So maybe a submission prop is something you check out. So what are your thoughts on this meatlock? How do you think Tyson gets this one done over Modestas Bukauskas? And is it early and often?
Yeah, this is definitely an early and often fight. I mean, Pedro's lock once again, and he's going to get an early finish. Feel very bad for, Mr. Gladiator, but yeah, he's going to get knocked out early and often. I think the first, maybe second round, but I really think in that first, half of the very beginning of the round, Pedro looked amazing last two fights really, and I mean, he's got great technique, great power. He's a big guy, and he's got long reach, sharp sniping punches. So he should finish this pretty easily.
Yeah, I see it the same way. Tapology's rolling with it as well, right? 88% rolling with Tyson Pedro. Majority is brown for that KO. Only a little bit of copper for the sub, but I actually do think that could be juicy and something worth checking out because most recently we haven't seen a lot of Tyson Pedro's ground game, but he does have it. And with a decent striker as Modestas Bukauskas, although I do think Pedro will have the advantage there anyways, he might find it in his best interest to mix in some groundwork and get a couple takedowns as well, because Bukauskas is most dangerous on the feet. He's got those great feints, but overall, Tyson Pedro, to your point, is an absolute sniper, right? He should be able to just clip him with what he wants and find a way to pressure and bully him like he's been doing to these guys most recently. So another meatlock kicking off a new century. We're going to be throwing down an easy 240. It's going to net a nice 100 and get us back over a serious green. And any last thoughts on this one, mate?
No, this is a great fight. Thumb in the comments who you take in, and you ride with the Meat Boys or not.